It's been such an awesome week of free speech and liberty in America, from big tech's tyrannical shutdown of Parler, the censoring of the president, to New York's intention to imprison you if you've been exposed to COVID. We cover all this and more on the Dr. Jaymz Show. Before we go any further, don't forget to share this video and subscribe to What TV for more great content. Now imagine if in the midst of the massive BLM riots this summer, the entire tech infrastructure had deplatformed Facebook just because someone had used it to post content inciting violence. Of course, no one would do such a thing, would they? But let's just say someone did. People would rightfully have called that an insane act of ideological fascism. But that's exactly what happened when Apple, Google, and Amazon killed off Parler.
And new tonight, social media companies are cracking down on posts that promote violence. Parler, the app that has become popular among many supporters of President Trump, has been cut off. Apple and Google removed Parler from their app stores for failing to moderate content that incites violence. And Amazon says it is removing the app from its web hosting service for violating its terms of service.
This is perhaps the largest act akin to book burning in history, and it's all been done so leftist big tech can control what you think, in the hope that you won't realize you are a sovereign being who can think for themselves. And it gets worse. Twitter and Facebook permanently banned the president from posting on their platforms. Twitter said the ban was because of the president's tweets inciting violence. So let's have a look at the final two tweets that triggered the ban. The 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first, and make America great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. Tweet number 2. To all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January the 20th. Now, if you don't see how catastrophically violent those two tweets are, then how dare you not conform to the leftist mind control propaganda? Don't you know you are not supposed to think freely? And what about Facebook's ban on the president? Here's what Mark Mother Zucker had to say. The shocking events of the last 24 hours clearly demonstrates that President Donald Trump intends to use his remaining time in office to undermine the peaceful and lawful transition of power to his elected successor, Joe Biden. His decision to use his platform to condone rather than condemn the actions of his supporters at the Capitol building has rightly disturbed the people in the US and around the world. We removed these statements yesterday because we judged that their effect and likely their intent would provoke people to further violence. Well, we managed to get hold of the president's final two Facebook statements, and they are so grossly violent, I have to warn you that its content may not be suitable for young children. Here's what it said. I'm asking for everyone at the US Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. And the post before that was even worse. Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Do you get it now? Trump is deranged. The audacity of him calling for law and order and supporting our great men and women in blue. Worst of all, he calls for peace. Now, if you don't see how dangerous these statements are, then you are thinking freely, and the mind control of the media is not working on you. By now, you should see that it was this kind of rhetoric from Trump that incited the violence, and the House was fully justified in impeaching him. especially now that evidence is emerging that the FBI and Capitol Police had knowledge the attack on the Capitol was planned. Despite the FBI's previous claim, there was no indication of looming violence. And if the attack was planned, wouldn't that mean that the president's speech did not incite the attack, which was the whole basis of the impeachment? I guess the House, led by Pelosi, did not rush to judgment in some kind of evil witch hunt, right? Now think about it. The left and the mainstream media rushed to condemn Trump when some of his supporters stormed the Capitol outside of his control, but said nothing when America burned for 4 months. Many leftists were either in denial or supported the riots and looting because the people doing those things were on their side.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now in Minneapolis.
They are strictly principled anti-fascists, and they've taken a principled stand to stand against white supremacists and white nationalists wherever they may show up.
I argue to you tonight, all punches are not equal morally.
It says it right in the name, Antifa, anti-fascism, which is what they were there fighting. Listen, there's, no organization is perfect. There was some violence.
Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times.
But thank goodness for the looters, man.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
I don't care that much about statues.
Shouldn't that be done by a commission or the city council, not a mob in the middle of the night throwing it into the harbor?
People will do what they do.
You're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Do not get it twisted and think that, this is something that has never happened before, and then this is so terrible, and where are we, and these savages and all of that. This is how this country was started.
Oh, this is how this country was started? So it's okay for leftists to start riots when just one criminal is killed by police, but it's not okay for millions of voters to be angry because of corruption in a presidential election? You've seen it for yourself, folks. The hypocrisy of the left knows no bounds. Speaking of hypocrites, don't you just love it when celebrities rip into the debate to get their pound of flesh? And just when you think he's got nothing else to say, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back, this time with a history lesson.
I grew up in Austria. I'm very aware of Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. It was a night of rampage against the Jews carried out in 1938 by the Nazi equivalent of the Proud Boys. Wednesday was the day of broken glass right here in the United States. The broken glass was in the windows of the United States Capitol. But the mob did not just shatter the windows of the Capitol. They shattered the ideals we took for granted.
Now, doesn't that sound convincing? Except that last Wednesday was nothing like Kristallnacht, which involved the burning of nearly 300 synagogues, destruction of 7,000 Jewish businesses, deportation of 30,000 Jews to concentration camps, and hundreds of murders, all by the unified German dictatorship. So my message to you, Schwarzenegger, is get a refund on those history lessons you paid for. So where does this all leave Trump supporters? According to CNN, the corrupt news network, if you have been one of those loathsome Trump supporters, you're a mob member and a Nazi.
You're in the crowd who voted for Trump. If you voted for Trump, you voted for the person who the Klan supported. You voted for the person who Nazis support. You voted for the person who the alt-right supports. That's the crowd that you are in.
Get that? If you voted for Trump, you are a Nazi. Aren't you ashamed? And the only way of redeeming yourself is to totally denounce this despot and his dishonest, corrupt agenda. So together, let's all denounce Trump's Make America Great agenda. Repeat after me. I denounce putting America first. I denounce law and order. I denounce a wall that can keep drugs and drug lords out of America. I denounce saving millions of unborn children from the slaughter of abortion. I denounce peace in the Middle East. I denounce stopping China from dominating America. And I denounce my constitutional rights, especially the First and Second Amendment. Just when you didn't think leftists could get any balmier, lawmakers in New York State are proposing to lock you up, even if you're suspected of having COVID or any other contagious disease. Under the bill spearheaded by Democratic Assemblyman Nick Perry, a confirmed carrier would be detained and only released when he or she is no longer contagious or is no longer exposed to such a disease. But there's more. Those who may have been in contact with alleged carriers could also be detained until tested negative. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Look, America is divided like never before, and it can only heal with the truth. But you won't find truth in politics. You're also not going to find truth in the school system, the media, or among people who just share opinions. The only place you will find truth is in the person of Jesus Christ, because He is the truth. The truth we seek and the life that God intends for us all is in Christ. Now, when you find Jesus, you find truth, healing, joy, peace, and everlasting life. What we also need more than ever before is peace. But peace cannot be attained when people are silenced or censored, no matter who they are. True lasting peace comes when we have the presence of the Prince of Peace in our lives, Christ Jesus. Only when we've made our peace with Christ can we have peace with each other. So let's give our lives to Jesus today. Don't miss my 3-day virtual crusade, Healing in the Time of Crisis, on January the 20th to the 22nd, starting 6 p.m. till 7. We all know what crisis feels like.
Worldwide coronavirus.
All over the world, we're seeing the devastating impact of this invisible killer.
America is already in a low-level civil war.
But now is the time for your breakthrough. Join me, evangelist Dr. Jaymz, for a powerful time of ministry, where God will turn your despair into hope, your fear into faith, your sickness into healing, and your darkness into light through the Lord Jesus Christ. Broadcasting live on WEZE 590 AM, WROL 950 AM, and 100.3 FM. Also on What TV.